Javier,
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás?
bien, gracias, gracias por su tiempo.
No, y que pues como ha costado cuadrar la llamada, pero bueno, siempre como estamos siempre para arriba y para abajo, qué pena.
No, no, es ok, no, me alegra mucho ver que ustedes están llegando aquí a Colombia. Me alegra mucho porque pues hablando no tanto como periodista, pero como viajero, como consumidor, es una cosa que Colombia tiene una oferta como, muy grande en ecoturismo, en hoteles de negocios, pero como hablando de los resorts, es como muy baja gama, no tiene competencia con Jamaica, yo voy con mi esposa en 3 semanas a la República Dominicana, pero aquí no hay nada así, y por fin viene algo aquí en Colombia, y además yo conozco pues no super amigos ni nada de eso, pero yo conozco como la familia allá que está desarrollando el Caribana. Y yo recuerdo, pues entre tú y yo, que ellos no estaban muy satisfechos con las cosas antes. Y me dijeron, mire, que vamos a borrar la pizarra y empezar de nuevo. Me dijeron eso como hace 2 o 3 años. Y me dijeron, no podemos contarte, no podemos decir nada, pero luego vamos a tener buenas noticias. Y entonces cuando yo vi que fue como Hyatt y Apple, estuve muy feliz porque yo conozco su producto y yo sé que va a ser algo muy bueno.
Qué bueno, gracias. ¿Dónde te vas a quedar en Dominicana?
En Barcelona, em, ¿cuál es el Barcelona?
¿Palas?
No, Palace no, Barcelona, porque no tenemos hijos. Vamos a Barcelona, a Bávaro Beach.
Ah, Bávaro Beach. Muy
Ajá,
bien.
sí, es que yo tengo que ir allá por motivo tengo unas reuniones en Santo Domingo y después viene mi esposa de aquí en Colombia y vamos a quedar allá 4 días.
Vale, muy bien, muy bien. Bueno,
Sí,
qué pena no te quedes con nosotros, pero está bien.
¿sabes qué? Es que fue como una cosa que me ofrecieron, pero yo he quedado con ustedes en América, en el Hyatt Rose Hall. Y wow, yo dije a mi esposa que es colombiana que tú no conoces un resort porque aquí fuimos a unas cosas aquí locales y yo dije a mi esposa, tú no conoces un resort. Vamos a Jamaica, vamos a un Hyatt Rose Hall o Hyatt Ziva y vas a ver qué es un resort.
O a Dreams, o a Secrets, o cualquiera de nuestras marcas.
Ahora aquí, mire, aquí en Cartagena, vamos a Cartagena, tenemos un evento en mayo. Creo que ustedes están abriendo en 2 o 3 semanas, ¿sí?
Vamos a abrir el 1 de mayo como soft opening y el
Ujú.
1 de junio ya como hard opening, sí.
Ah, súper. Sí, vamos a un evento de negocios allá pues yo estoy basado aquí afuera de Medellín. Eh, entonces siempre estamos viajando mucho. Voy a Las Vegas a un evento en 2 semanas. Después de Las Vegas voy directamente a República Dominicana, Santo Domingo. Pero me gustaría ver los cambios. Yo sé que será mejor porque cuando fue una propiedad Conrad, pues no fue horrible, pero no fue, yo vi unas cosas como no cuidaron los detalles. Y con razón, hablando con eh, los Mildenberg, me estaba diciendo que no estamos muy satisfechos. Y me dijeron antes, pues no, creo que fue antes que comunicaron con ustedes, pero me dijo que no, ya vamos a aprovechar COVID y usar eso para como empezar de nuevo. Entonces yo vi que será ustedes y súper feliz por ellos porque yo sé que es algo que necesita Colombia y también, pero para ver que Colombia tiene un producto de alta gama que hoy en día no tiene en el sector de los resorts.
Pues vamos a tratar. Nosotros nos ha ido muy bien en otros países.
Ujú.
Hemos implementado nuestras marcas en prácticamente todo el Caribe y en Europa, sobre todo en España, en Grecia. Y la verdad es que nos ha ido bien. Entonces yo espero que también nos vaya bien en Colombia y que podamos crecer, sobre todo, ¿no?
Excelente. Cambiamos a inglés porque vamos a
Sure.
publicar en inglés y así no necesito traducirte.
No problem.
Okay, great. I'm here with Javier Coll. What is your title with Apple Leisure Group?
I'm a group president for global business development at Appalachia Group.
Okay, great. Well, we're here to talk today about the new Caravana property that's joining the AMR collection. Now, Colombia has a strong tourism industry overall. It's continuing to grow. I was at an event earlier today where they just announced a new nonstop route between Medellin and Buenos Aires. But Colombia has a few resorts and even fewer that market to the all-inclusive model. Especially Colombia has a couple of resorts, but they kind of focus on the domestic market. Why is that? Why is the resort sector and the all-inclusive sector underdeveloped here in Colombia? And why is the time right now for Caravana to join the AMR collection, your group of properties?
Well, sometimes it's the chicken or the egg, right? I mean, you don't have the right product. Therefore, there's no really culture in certain countries to do this type of vacation, right? In this case, my wife is from Colombia, and she used to tell me that their way to go out of the city was basically like renting a house, driving or going to different places, but not necessarily thinking about vacation resort like we usually do in other places. So every year we take maybe 1 week, 2 weeks vacation, depending on our kids' holidays. And we always do that. We always go to a all-inclusive resort. We know that we're gonna be fine. We're gonna have a great vacation. But we're talking about places where you have options, great options, right? When you don't have those options, it's not part of your yearly schedule, if you will, right? You won't do that. You will do other things, but not that. So I guess, in my opinion, part of it is that the chicken or the egg. You don't have the product, therefore you don't have the demand. So lately I know that better product is coming to Colombia. uh, Different brands open different hotels in Colombia, and that means several groups working on the marketing and commercial departments, like bringing people. Now it's not just national tourism; it's also an international one. So you have to keep building up. I mean, it's not going to be just us. It's not going to be just other hotel chains. It's going to be all of us. So I think we're going to be able to help, just because, uh, as you know, we have tour operators, right, in the United States, especially in the United States, but we also have agreements with other tour operators in Latin America. And that was our core business from the get-go. I mean, from the beginning, 50 years ago, we started as a tour operator. So we tend to develop destinations. We help develop in Cancun, we help develop Punta Cana, and hopefully we can help developing Cartagena in that sense, increasing the number of passengers. The moment you increase the number of passengers, you see more projects coming to the destination. If you see more projects coming to the destination, more national guests also will keep coming to this destination. So it's a process. I think that is the reason, uh, but I think it's gonna happen. I mean, that is one of the main reasons. Going back to your second question, that's one of the main reasons we chose Colombia. First of all, we wanted to grow in Latin America and South America, especially. Colombia is the door to South America, but also is one of the most important destinations for leisure, which is what we do. So when you think about options, leisure options, uh, beach, sun, right now you have Brazil, you have Colombia, and then you have very limited places within Latin America. So those two places are two of the most important ones in Latin America. Of course, Colombia is closer to the United States, so for us it is a no-brainer to start in Colombia. We want to grow in Colombia. We don't want to stay in Cartagena. We want to keep growing.
Great.
but eventually we'll get into other countries in South America.
Wonderful. So what can you tell me about the expected guest profile? Who is the property targeting and who do you expect to visit?
Well, our product is uh, Caribbean 5 star, and I say Caribbean because you don't really have stars in the Caribbean, right? I mean, it's not like city that is very well defined what a 5 star is, etc. In this case, it's Caribbean 5 star, and that means that the rates are going to be kind of high versus other products that you may find in Colombia. So we expect like a middle high class type of customer, the with a high capacity of expenditure within the resort. It's not just the all inclusive that you pay, but then once in destination, we offer an array of different options, spa, uh, any any wines. We usually have agreements with suppliers where we are able to have some of the best wines you can find, Opus One or Vega Sicilia, whatever it is, we usually have it, and that means that we're catered for the high-end spectrum of the customer,
Mhm.
and that's the goal. The goal is to have a very high quality product catered to that the high-end market that we believe that is present in Colombia and in other countries, of course.
I know the property well. I've been to the property. It's a fairly new property. It's only a few years old, but I knew the property when it was operated by a previous operator. The ownership group, the developers, the real estate people um, brought you guys in. If I were to visit now, how much will it have changed? What has it? You know, I know that you go in and you put your own touches on there. That you know, there's a building there that's kind of raw infrastructure to use. But how much of a remodel or refresh or update or complete change, because I know that now it's operating under a different concept. How much would I see the property have changed from how it was originally, I guess I should say.
Well, as you know, the previous brand was a high quality brand. I mean, it was a good brand.
Hmm.
I think I think the problem was not in the brand or the attributes or the quality of the asset. So we've been focusing uh, on software, right? You
Hmm.
have the hardware, which is pretty decent, pretty good. We of course did some work on the asset, decoration, some things that on the back of the house that didn't work. Actually, that's one of the reasons why we will be opening in May. We thought we would be opening earlier, but now it's difficult to find some parts because of the supply chains and all those things, all those
Hmm.
problems. Uh, Everything is delayed. So we want to make sure that when we open, everything works properly, ACE, all those things.
Yes.
So that we invested or we asked the owner to invest some money there on the back of the house, some money in decorations. Uh, but the most important change is going to be the software, the way we run the property, the operational attributes, the service. That's where we're going to focus most of our efforts because again, the asset was fine. I mean, if you were there, you probably coincide with us that it was a pretty good hotel. It was a pretty good asset. It was
Hmm.
just maybe a couple of details, maybe maintenance, things like that. I mean, we're gonna fix it.
Yes.
But it's more software than anything else. It's the way we run our hotels, the essence of our brands. In this case, it's going to be a Dreams, which is a very well known one of our most successful brands, and we have a very particular way to do things. So that is the software that I'm talking about. That is the way to do things that I'm talking about. So most of the change that you're going to see is going to be on the operations, not necessarily on the asset.
I know that there's an adjacent, really kind of they're attached to the property, but it's shared with, I know there's the Carabana real estate development and everything there, but there's a golf club, and there's a PGA. I'm from Columbus, Ohio, and one of our hometown favorites is Jack Nicklaus, and he designed, or his firm designed the golf course there. What's the resort's relationship with the golf club? Because I know that there are local people and there are people who live in the real estate development that use the golf club. But I know that that's very much connected and it's right there, kind of literally right there with the property. How with an in an a la carte, it's easy. You just say, okay, it costs whatever it costs. But in a all inclusive property, is that like a separate tier? Is it completely separate and not included? What's the relationship? Because I know not a lot of readers are going to be interested in that.
Well, what we usually do in other destinations is that we cut deals with any golf course around our property that is close by. As you know, if you're a golfer, you know that when you go for a golf trip, you don't want to play just in one golf course. You want to play in two, three different golf courses. So in this case, we're going to try to do the same. We're going to try to cut deals with golf courses that are close by to the property. Uh, Make sure that what we usually do is we include the tee time, we include it on the rate. So it's part of the rate actually. However, many times the golf course tells you, okay, yeah, we can cut a deal on the tee time, but they have to use the cart and they have to and they have to rent our clubs if they don't have clubs, right?
Okay.
So you may end up paying something just because of that. That is something that we're working on. But I'm telling you the way we work in other destinations because we want to try to replicate the same thing in Cartagena. So the answer is yes, there will be some kind of agreement. We're just defining that to be part of the offer of the all-inclusive.
Marvelous. When is the hotel open, and what's the best channel for either guests or I know that property uh, even before was popular with event organizers with weddings. That property has really flexible meeting space for corporate events. I remember the last time I was there, it was completely full. I mean, I showed up and I even called the people who I knew there, and they're like, "There's no rooms, we're full," because they had the corporate events that were just booming. So I would imagine that even though it's an all-inclusive resort, there are corporate incentive events, and companies are always, whether they're in Latin America or in the U.S., companies I know are always looking for new destinations, where they want to treat like their top salespeople or things like that. What's the best channel for finding out about booking? Whether that might be just simple kind of retail consumer booking, or people that are interested in organizing, maybe doing a package or something like that, whether it's a wedding or like a corporate incentive type of event or something like that. What's the best way to contact um, the Apple, the AMR collection, or the Hyatt or the Apple Leisure Group? What's the best way to? And forgive me, I'll edit this. What should I call you to? And I'll edit this correctly in the print. But what's the best way? And basically, I'm trying to give you a chance to give me your direct website so people don't go to Expedia or something like that and they come to you. What do you want me to list here?
Our most important website, which is the one that includes all the collection of brands and resorts, is AM Resorts. AM
Okay.
Resorts. So you can find all our brands, all our locations, everything, and you can book any of our hotels there, right? So the one of the things that I believe is part of our success is that we are very well. We're present in most of the channels that you mentioned. And the most important ones are owned by us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like we depend on third parties, tour operators. Um, to feel part of our hotels, or the hotels that we manage. We have our own distribution. And even though we sell other brands and other hotels, owning distribution, it makes a big difference as a management company, big difference. So at some point, we were at the 5 million Americans going to the Caribbean and through our distribution channels, through other tour operators. That, just to give you an idea, that could represent up to 30, more than 30% of all the Americans traveling to the Caribbean. So we had that type of control. And so one part, we have our own tour operators feeding the hotel. Then we have our direct channels through the website, AM Resorts, that we were talking about, but also the hotel website. So you can go to agentresorts.com, or you can go to, in this case, will be Dreams Caribana. You will be able to book our resorts. You can do it through Hyatt as well, right?
Okay.
If you go to Hyatt, you can do through Hyatt. We have the loyalty program, the Hyatt loyalty program. We have our loyalty program, which is called UVC, Unlimited Vacation Club, which
Okay.
is, it is a vacation club, but we consider it to be a loyalty program. And the more than 100,000 members that we currently have, they book directly through the UVC website, through the Unlimited Vacation website. So at some point, we may have 60% of all the customers in our hotels came through our own distribution channels, right? So that is one of the secrets of our success, financial success, and operational success. And a big percentage of our revenue is coming from groups and weddings. So at some point, we have more than one wedding per day per property.
Wow.
And we have 117 properties right now open. That
Hmm.
means 117 times 365, probably a little bit more weddings. So it's unbelievable, the business that we have coming from weddings, but also corporate business. You were talking about the corporate business. We have a group group sales force that is solely focused on selling groups. Part of them are in Miami, part of them are local. We have a local office in Bogota to sell our resorts, and now, of course, to sell the Caribana. So many ways, going back to your original question, many ways to book our resorts, but the easy ones are AM Resorts and the same Dreams Caribana website that which is the website of the hotel. So those are the easy ways to contact the hotel, try to book a room, or try to organize a group.
Great. Okay. Yeah, I'll end the interview here, but I wanted to at least do that because a friend of mine owns several hotels, business hotels here in Medellin, and and I know that when people go to third parties like Expedia and things like that, they take a cut, and so I wanted to at least uh, create an opportunity to include your own websites directly. But yeah, I mean, I've been to Hyatt resorts. Like I mentioned, I was so mad because I was a guest of the Jamaican government, um, and we went to the Hyatt Ziva, but it was beautiful, but I was so mad because we got there, and from like breakfast until after dinner, they had us in event after event after event. And we slept in the resort, but I never got to like take advantage of the resort. I had like 15 minutes here and there to walk around, but I was so mad. And so the next time I went on business, I went down, and so I stayed at the same place, and I like made sure that I had a couple of days before the meetings and a couple of days after the meetings to at least I get to take advantage of the environment. And but I know your product, and even going back to even before, like I remember before Hyatt purchased when AMR, or when Apple was Apple Leisure Group was Apple Vacations. and I used to travel down to Dominican Republic and I think Aruba and different places, and I would book Apple vacations with my local tourist agent back or travel agent back in the 90s. So it's impressive how the companies have morphed and grown and evolved and to what it is now.
Yeah, we became not became, but we added the hotel management business in 2000. So I was lucky enough to be one of the co-founders of that business, and very quick it became the largest business. I mean, it was a no-brainer for us. Once we had the customers, it was a no-brainer to go to the hotel management business and creating our brands, Dreams, Secrets, and all the brands that we own today. Just because it's like you have a car, but you don't have the gas, or you have the gas but you don't have the car. So
Hmm.
in this case, we have both. We have the gas and we have the car. So so it was a no-brainer to complement the rate of all our businesses, to make sure that we're able to take advantage one from the other one, instead of feeding some other companies that they're not part of the group, which is
Right.
what used to happen back then.
What's the difference between, yeah, I remember Apple Vacations was almost more of a, I mean, they worked with tourist agents, but they were kind of like a tourist agent in a way. They were
Yeah.
like an aggregator, I think was the term. I remember there used to be words for that. But I'm curious, just quickly, what's the this what is the segmentation? What's the difference in the branding or the? I know that you go, you create properties to go up to slightly different. Like there's the adults romantic market, there's the family market. What's the difference, if any, between dreams and secret? And I'm asking you this. I'm gonna let you go in a minute, but I wanted to just ask you this. I'm not going to put this in the interview, but off the record, but just out of my own curiosity.
Well, we have three levels of brands. We have 4 to 4.5, 5, and then 6, right? Three
Okay.
levels of brand. On the top, the 6-star brand, if you will, because six is nothing, but
Hmm.
it's the Zoetry. So the
Okay.
Zoetry is a high-end all-inclusive, very small boutique hotel, 50 rooms. Um, Everything's included, but it's ultra luxury, if you will, right? And we sell those through leading hotels of the world, and these other completely different channels.
Right.
Then you have what we call 5-star, which is the in the middle, and the 5-star will be Secrets, Dreams, and Breathless.
Hmm.
Secrets and Breathless, and I would say, if you tell me what, I mean, if you have to compare one product with the other one, I would say they're the same level of quality, the same level of assets, everything. The difference is Breadless and Secrets are adults only, and
Okay.
Dreams is for families. Okay.
Okay.
Or not necessarily dedicated to families, but we allow kids. Let's put it that way.
Understood. Yeah.
So Breadless is different from Secrets because Breadless is more, let's say, um, is a little bit more active, more party, more young, more
Hmm.
lifestyle,
Okay.
if you will. And then you have Secret, which is more romantic. So,
Got
so
it.
depending, if you go with friends, go to Breathless. If you go with your wife, then go to Secrets. Okay. So
Understood.
you'll have fun in Breathless. Actually, you have to. It will be interesting next time you go to Jamaica. Visit our property or stay in our property. That would be better.
I
We
will.
have
Yeah.
we have a Secrets, and then we have a Breathless within the same property, and you will immediately see the difference in vibe, and this difference in entertainment, and the difference in they're in the same property. And then you can go from one property to the other. When you stay in Breathless, you can go to Secrets, and the opposite. So those are the adults only products. And then you have Dreams. We try to build the Dreams at the same level, the same quality as Secrets and Breathless. But in this case, then you can go with your kids. You can go with your family. So we have a little bit of everything. And then we have a third tier, which is 4-star, 4.5-star, Sunscape, Alua,
Hmm.
Sunscape Alua, and now we're gonna launch a new brand called Vivid. Uh, so Vivid is adults only, 4.5-star, and then we have Sunscape and Alua. They're more families, if you will. So we try to cover the whole spectrum. because we have the whole spectrum of customers. I mean, through our tour
Right.
operators. So
I look at, at different points in my life. I mean, I look at what I wanted when I was single and let's say, 28 or 30 and first starting to explore the Caribbean and Latin America. And then when, my daughter's now she's grown. And so when she was a kid, there was something else, now that she's grown, I'm going back to I don't want a party. I want peace and quiet and exclusivity. And I want to have lobster for breakfast. That's one of the things I remember in your, I remember taking pictures because I was there on business the first time. So like I would send pictures back to my wife back here in Colombia. And I said, I'm having lobster and champagne for breakfast and you're having calentado and arepas.
well,
You know,
sometimes the calentado and arepas, is better than anything else. But yeah,
that's true. That's true. I tell her that, but if there's lobster or beans and rice, I'm going to take the lobster. I'm sorry.
yeah. Probably me too.
So anyway, no, you've been great with your time. I really appreciate it. It'll take me probably about 10 days to get this transcribed and edited. I've got pictures of the property. I want to get a headshot of you. This will go into Finance Columbia. We may then read, which is Finance. So Finance Columbia is the only English language business publication focused on Colombia. Um, Obviously, when you speak Spanish, you can get news down here, but for this really for the foreign investors and the foreign executives that are doing business down here. So maybe somebody in Hyatt or maybe somebody in AOG who doesn't speak Spanish is going to read this, as opposed to like in the local papers and things like that. Count on anything we can do to support your efforts in the future. Obviously, I'll send you links to the article and things like that. Um, I'm sure you probably already are well aware of, just kind of like as a consumer suggestion, San Andres is so underdeveloped and has so much potential. Santa Marta as well. I get tired of Cartagena, because it, like in the that whole story. But Santa Marta, when I want to go and get peace and quiet, I go to Santa Marta. And I'm sure it's your industry. But those are just some consumer suggestions to look at, and I'll leave you with that.
So, no, absolutely. And again, we want to grow. We want to grow in Cartagena, but we also want to grow in the rest of Colombia. And those are the places probably that will go next. Our limitation, if you will, is that we are a completely 100% asset-light company. And
Right.
that means that we have to find for the right investor, for the hotelier, or maybe the REIT that is investing in in the hotel business so we can manage. So otherwise, it's not like we can choose a destination and just build something because we don't have assets, we don't own assets. So that's the only limitation we have. But also, I think it's also good at the same time because we don't have any conflicts. I mean, we
Exactly.
manage the hotels as the best we can for every single owner. We don't have conflicts of hotels that we own or we don't own, and I think that's healthy for everybody.
Agreed. No, absolutely. Please stay in touch. Count on our continued. You want to grow. We want to cover your growth. It's exciting. It's fun to me. Like I said, I was at a lunch this morning where an airline, Viva Air down here, which is also in full disclosure one of our sponsors, continues to grow. It's so cool to watch them go from a little airline to like a major contender. I love seeing that. I love seeing the growth down here in Colombia, as a gringo who kind of feels adopted down here. That was my last. I'm just curious. Are you based in Pennsylvania or where are you based? Because I'm from Ohio, next door.
Yeah, I know. I'm based maybe suburbs of Philly, maybe 35 minutes
Oh, okay.
from downtown. Um, it's a place called Newton Square, but you probably haven't heard because there's nothing there. Just the SAP headquarters. That's the only big thing that happens in Newton Square. But at the same time, it's close to everything. It's close to New York. It's close to Ohio. It's close to um, major gateways
Hmm.
going to the Caribbean, and that means that is good for our business because a lot of travel agents are also around these areas of the tri-state and New Jersey and all those, all
Right.
Delaware. So it's easy for us to keep visiting them because this business is about that. It's about, keeping those travel agents happy, visiting them, and developing business of the Northeast, especially in the Northeast of the United States, which is one of our most important sources of business in the Caribbean. So that's one of the main reasons why we're still here. But the original reason was because Apple Vacation was here, so we want to be close to Apple to try to maximize the distribution and take advantage of it. So that was the original reason, but still somehow makes sense. Although we
Right.
have offices in Chicago, in Miami, in other places.
Cool. Now you don't have a Philly accent.
No, I'm from Spain. I cannot have a Philly accent.
Oh, great. So cool. So cool. The best seafood. That's one thing I miss. I love living in Colombia. I love Colombia, but I go to Panama or Peru when I want to eat seafood. But Spain, oh my goodness. Like when they closed, when Ferran Adria closed El Bulli, I was depressed because I haven't been yet. So
Yeah,
anyway,
me too. Me too.
you've
Me
been
too.
you've been great with your
The same,
time. Go ahead.
the best wine and the best food for sure, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I guess, yeah, absolutely. We could go on for hours. Look, let's stay in touch. Count on my support. Let me know when you're down here. I hope to see you at the property. I'd love to do follow-ups and check it out and things like that. I worked, in the past with the Mildenbergs when, to cover the property. I didn't really talk to the operator, but I had developed a relationship with them with the real estate side. And so I'm already very biased in that I want to see this project succeed. So whatever I can do to help you, formally or informally, count me in as an ally.
No, me too. Thank you so much, and let us know whenever you visit our property. So,
Will do.
just shoot me an email or whatever
Okay.
is easy for you.
I appreciate it. You got my commitment on that because my wife is I have to work and and she has to travel. So
Hey,
I promise I
that's
will. I will
fine.
let you know though in advance.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Stay safe.
Take care. You too. Bye.
Goodbye.